In the question number 2, this is a very conceptual question. It says, find the gradient of a line which is perpendicular to a line with gradient. And they're giving us the gradient. So what we're looking is simply the gradient of the line that is perpendicular, of the line that they are giving us the gradient. So what I need to understand is what happened, how do I notice that two lines are perpendicular? So here it's very important that you remember that if the line, they are perpendicular, this is the sign for perpendicular, then the gradients or the slopes, okay, they are, and this is very important, negative reciprocals. What does that mean, negative reciprocal? Just if you have a number 2, the reciprocal is 1 over 2. But if we're talking about the negative reciprocal, you just add a negative sign. Again, if we have a gradient that is equal to 3, the reciprocal is 1 over 3. But if they're perpendicular, it should be negative reciprocal. So I need to put the negative sign. If I have a fraction, if I have 2 over 3, so what is the reciprocal? What I need to do is remember that when I did find the reciprocal of 2, what I was doing is this. I know that 2 is over 1. I don't write the over 1. But if you look, what I'm doing is changing the value of the numerator by the denominator. So the reciprocal is just simply rewriting the fraction but changing the numerator by the denominator and vice versa. So my denominator become numerator, that's a 3, and my numerator become a denominator 3. And I cannot forget we're talking about the negative reciprocal. So now I know that those two are perpendicular. This is how simple. If I have a negative, what happens? And I'm looking the negative reciprocal of this fraction. Again, I do the same steps. 4 over negative 3. But we are always talking about negative reciprocal, so I need to put this negative sign. And rule of the signs, this become positive. So it becomes 4 over 3. So the question is simple. Find the gradient of a line which is perpendicular to a line with gradient, let's do the first one, 1 over 3. So the perpendicular gradient should be negative 3. Now, let's choose D, negative 11. So the negative reciprocal is 1 over 11. I know my negative is here, but because it has to be a negative reciprocal, I have negative in the numerator and the denominator. Rule the signs, this become positive. Now, what happens when we are working and the question says that my line has an undefined gradient? So when does that happen that my line has an undefined gradient? So here we're talking about some cases that are simple. What I need to remember is there's two types of line that has two spatial gradients. When the line is horizontal, my gradient is equal to 0. And when my line is vertical, my slope is undefined. So, if I extend this one here, the line that has a gradient undefined, the gradient of the line that is perpendicular, so this one, should be equal to 0. This is the case for the example F.